How you doing today? My name is Brandon Grady. I coach at the Colony High School in Texas. I am our defensive special teams coordinator. I try to come up with some mottos each year for our kids that where they kind of feel like being on special teams is a big deal. I know everybody preaches it and everybody says it, but really try and get those kids to believe that that's an actual starting unit. So just kind of go through some stuff, some philosophies that we have. We want to set the tone. We want to win the field position battle. We want to try and score when possible. And we want to force turnovers and be aggressive. We want every single play to be a sellout. And so we really emphasize and reward effort plays by our kids on our special teams units. We do a muddle huddle. All of our receivers are eligible numbers. All of our linemen are also eligible numbers. We will break the huddle out of this muddle huddle quickly, and we will kind of just let them try and create an advantage for the punt team as far as alignment, where they may not know who's eligible, who's not. All right. Rugby punt. We do it a little bit, not as much as we used to, just because we ran into a little bit of an issue with the half roll versus the full rugby. And so we have the ability to do it. We don't do that as much anymore. And then we also have our tight punt, which is the traditional, no big deal, just a regular old tight punt. Our kickoff coverage, speed zone, the first 20 yards, we tell them we want you to try and run the fastest 20 yards of your life. The read zone is about 15 yards. That's from the 40 to the 25, and we're going to avoid contact, cross face, butt side, whatever term you want to use. And then attack zone is 25 yards to the ball carrier. So we're looking to seek contact at that point, button press, and use our hands, secure the tackle, and strip the ball. We really try to get hands on the football if we can. It's pretty generic, like most people, as far as your attackers and your safeties and your backside and all that. We do have a 2-kicker look that we can throw out there if we want to. We just take the A5 off the field and add the extra kicker. We can do this from a tight formation, or we can also do it from the spread as shown here. And these are just some goals that we came up with as far as a sheet. It keeps the top one is the game, that game. This is before, and then this is the season total. And so we have a breakdown. And this is all generic numbers that I threw in there. This isn't any of our actual numbers or anything like that. But the game, 2 for 44. So we were 22 on the game. Previous, we were 31 of 705 for a 23-yard average on kickoff return. Punt return, same thing. No block kicks, no turnovers. And so that's where that is. And then penalties here. Nail them inside the 20 or the 10. And so the 20 is for kickoff, the 10 is for punt. Kickoff coverage, we want to try and hold them to a certain amount of yardage on kickoff coverage. Our goal is less than 17. Punt coverage, our goal is 5. And so you kind of see where we're at. So then each week we will have a shark, like going back to that theme, and we will give that to a kid that wins that particular, may have made 2 or 3 plays that week. Here is my contact info. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. That's my cell phone and my Twitter. Shoot me a message if you are not following me and just want to chat, or let me know. So we really want to stretch the field sideline to sideline, and then we also want to try and obviously stretch it through the end zone as well, and cause these kickoff return teams to really have to account for all of the field. And so this particular kick is supposed to be more to the sideline. The kicker got way up underneath it. But that's just something that they're high school kids, and they're going to screw some stuff up. They started, this is our pooch kick, which, not a super big fan of, but we don't do a good job of getting enough height on the ball here. There's too much yardage between the kickoff team and the return man, and so it's something we got to do a better job of. This was our rugby punt, punting out of our end zone. They had a dude back there that we did not want to kick the ball to, and my punter was worried about kicking it to him, and we ended up kicking it out of bounds. So not good stuff there, but it is what it is. This one's a little bit better as far as the height's concerned. We want these attack guys to be about 10 to 15 yards away when that guy catches it. So now we have a little bit of a chance. Don't make it great. We don't do a good job of getting off blocks right here, but I'm a big fan of not just putting out all your best stuff. It is who we are, and not everything's gonna be perfect. So he kicks it here again, way too high. That's supposed to land, about the 45. So good thing is that, you're able to coach them up and coach them through it and learn some stuff from it. So this is why we didn't want to kick to that guy. He can make just about anybody miss. We have a guy there, pretty good coverage, should be squeezing him a little bit better. And then we end up getting outside of him, and there he goes and gets some, 8 or 9 yards. So we teach our kiddos to really try and look and see, understand the game and understand where the returners are and where we want the ball to go versus, where the returners are. And, once the kids get some of that ownership of it, they really kind of buy in, like we were talking about earlier, to some of that stuff. Go to a couple other. So like I said, in our punt system, right now they've been told who's on and who's off. These guys in here are also eligible numbers. So we've got a lot of different ways to get guys lined up. We can get it unbalanced. We can do a lot of different stuff that puts some stress on the other teams. And so this is kind of a little bit of the rugby stuff. It's all kind of dependent upon, the defense. The punter's going to look and see, are they rushing hard? Or are they just kind of trying to contain me? And the longer that he can hold on to it, the better. I was pretty blessed this year. This is a 40 offer kid, so that not very many teams wanted to run up there and give him a free rein. But here's that rugby look. He ends up not kicking it great, but this is our 2 kicker system. Can kick all the same kicks out of it. Doesn't do a good job staying out of bounds here. So, it's one of those deals where you've got to really practice it and you got to really believe in it. This was illegal. I put a new guy out here. He didn't pay attention. He's not on the line and he loops. Luckily, we didn't get a flag thrown on us. So sometimes you got to be lucky, right? So here we do a good job of kicking it deep, but we don't do a great job of staying in our lanes. Anytime you've got 2 guys within a couple yards of each other, it's not great. Do a pretty good job of trying to get off a block here. This is kind of our button press. He doesn't do it immediately. He should get off that earlier. But we tackle a guy on the 25, 26 yard line as a kickoff coach. Anytime that you can get that look, you're happy. So this is one where he made me pretty nervous. He holds the ball a little bit longer than we like. He sees pressure right now. He tries to get outside of the first one, but he should probably be kicking that ball right now. He ends up holding it a little bit longer, but here we got him down on the 11-yard line, so win for us. Some of our two kicker stuff again. Sometimes teams will over adjust to that, and they'll move guys up, and so we can then turn around and kick it deep. Again, we want to stretch the field to the end zone as well as sideline to sideline, and make them kind of account for that. This is what I really like about the rugby is that ball's bouncing around. Guy doesn't really know where it's going to go, what's going to happen, ends up tipping it. We're right there to have a chance to make a play on it. So some of the kangaroo stuff, need to do a better job tackling. So here, this team has adjusted. They've shifted for those sideline kicks, and so we've gotten our advantage that we wanted out of it. We got guys moved. We have more grass now. Can't see it in this shot, but the returner had scooted way up, and most teams are going to try and take the kangaroo back across the field because they think they've got the advantage. Numbers wise. So we really try and coach those backside guys up, doing a good job of squeezing and standing on shoulders. This kid's going to LSU, so I probably should have gotten fired for kicking the ball to him, but it was our best look. Luckily, we come out of this thing and get the ball. He ends up fumbling it, and we get it. So it worked out for me that time. One of the things that I really like about this particular punt formation is it causes the defense to have guys to account for 7 guys that could possibly go out for a pass. And so it really makes teams have to focus on it and really understand who's where and who's what, who's on, who's off, who's eligible, who's not eligible. And we will run different formations out of this. I just didn't have any in this particular presentation. Our punter is able to look and see. He kind of looks, checks both sides. He knows that, pressure's coming from this way, so he needs to get rid of the ball. There's no reason to roll into the boundary and run into pressure. So we kind of try and teach those things as we go. Not a great job by the blocker, the H there. Get a good roll here. Boom, we won that battle. We're inside the 10, so and their return guy didn't get to touch it. Deep kickoff. And so here, this is their furthest, their deepest return man. He's on the 15. And so now our kicker's goal is to try and get it as close to the numbers as he can, kicking it deep to keep it away from him. And then we get it into the end zone and we win there because we got the ball on the 25. So they got to drive the field in order to have a chance to score. This is one thing that some teams tried to do to this particular formation is bring the third one off the edge, and the punter, again, we teach him to count. And if he sees 3 off of an edge on the backside, he knows that that's for him. And so he now knows I got to get rid of the ball so he can just catch it and kick. And you got to be a pretty good athlete to be able to block that. So again here, they've scooted that guy up again. He's on the 15. And so we got what we wanted. We got the kickoff return team to adjust. We got them to line up in a way that they don't want to line up. And the ball lands pretty much where we want it to. And then it checks up on us, which is not good because this dude is electric with the ball in his hands. But we've got guys unblocked that have flown down the field with good effort. And, we really do a good job trying to get him down, and we all rally to the ball. And so that's one thing that we really try and preach is effort is get to the football and get on the guy's legs and get him down. So, that's kind of all I've got. If you have any questions or want to reach out or want to chat, I'll be more than happy to kind of go more in depth on what we do and kind of how we do it. But, we really try and put a lot on the kids as far as taking ownership of it, making sure that they understand that this is a starting unit. The punt team is a starting unit. And so it allows us to get guys on the field that maybe couldn't get on the field as a starter on offense or defense, but they give such great effort that they can get by and do things on special teams. And it's something that I really believe in. I think you can take some juniors or even some seniors that may be a 2, and just not quite good enough to start that, get that starting role. And then all of a sudden they really buy in, and now you've got a really, really good kickoff or punt team off of some 2s and some starters. I'm a big believer in making your best players play. This kid right here is a Division I receiver. Up top is a Division I corner safety and receiver. And then somewhere in here is another one of my Division I guys. I don't let them take plays off. If they're dudes, they, at this point in the year, this is a district game, and so they know that it's time to rock and roll. Every now and then they may come to me and say, Coach, I need a breather. And if it's a point in the game where I know they need a breather, then we'll give them one there. But, I think some of that comes with early on in the season. They come to me and tell me that, and I'm pretty lenient on it. I let them, there's the ability to sub for them. But then I let them know, hey, it's time to rock and roll. And they're willing to stay out there because they know that there's been a little bit of that give and take. So feel free to reach out to me about anything, but especially defensive special teams. I also coach our secondary at the high school. So anything you guys want to talk ball, let me know. I'm just as bored as everybody else right now. So luckily we get to go back soon, hopefully, knock on wood. Our state just came out and said we're good to go at a certain date, but it's up to the school districts and all that. So we'll see what happens from there, but please feel free to reach out. Coach Bandstra, I appreciate you having me on. I had a great time just talking ball with you a little bit, and I look forward to catching up with some of you guys.